morning and welcome to another exciting show. And we've got, was it Deb B. D.
Darkershire.
And it's Chris, not from Yorkshire. So there we go. And welcome to another exciting show.
Yes.
And the amazing thing is each week the chat room fills up before we even start.
I love it.
I know this morning, I think, who was the first one on today? I think it must have been, was it Bob?
It was Louise.
Louise. Oh, hang on, we're going back further. Bob, it was. No, he was on at 5 minutes past 6 this afternoon.
Oh,
so that's keenness. That is what you got. A firm fan following.
For
Say that with a mouthful of nuts. Well, it must be. We've got to be a little bit delicate with Deb because you've been wine tasting, haven't you?
Well, lager tasting,
yes. Sort of beer tasting with a little finger raised, each delicate.
Yeah, for 7 hours.
For 7 hours, yes. Yeah. I'm a little bit merry, so I'm going to talk about that. But I'm not yes, I'm quite sober, I assure you.
Not yet.
Yes. I won't get my worms in a mucking fubble, will I? So I'll be perfectly okay. So, well, we got no tinkly music because we got no one that's Tom and Dick. We've got quite a few that's mentally Tom and Dick. Oh, you've got Tom and Dick, yeah. Shall we give you some Tom?
I don't need tinkly music, no. I think I'll probably be sick.
Yes, okay. Just one moment.
Have a slurp.
Right, anybody like Guinness? Right, here we go. Now, I forgot what it's called now. Pure Blood Awake. That's it. I started it. I forgot what it's called. Pure Blood Awake is up and running. It's super duper going. It's on Facebook. Lots of people saying, I'm not on Facebook. And why you got it on there for? Well, the answer is I don't like Facebook, but the trouble is Facebook is you got, metaphorically speaking, you got to get in bed with the devil occasionally.
Yes.
So we've got to use it. We're up to 40 members.
Yes.
And it's less than a week it's been going, which is not bad going.
Not bad at all.
Arranged I'm going to arrange a meetup soon, and there's we've got some people that's very interested in that as well. Yeah. But the trouble is it's down south.
Yeah, down south.
Down bleeding south, innit? Yeah.
Where
the beer, what was you saying before we coming on? A pint of Guinness is £5.80 something, 85 I think it was, or 90 something. And when I'm driving, I don't drink at all. I have black currants, little drop of water, and I always put bloody ice cubes in it. And some Indian
down.
And £4.85. Would you believe? So if you buy around for people, it gets a bit expensive.
Yeah, it does slightly.
Because when they said, was it £5.85 for a Guinness? I said, well, no, I only want, for like saying, I only want 1 pint. Don't want 5.
Yeah, I'm not buying the pub around.
That's right. Yes. But unfortunately, I feel sorry for pubs because they've got to make their living.
Yeah.
And because the government's clamping down on them so much, they've got to put their prices up to keep them open. I mean, round here, you go into a pub and it's very, really crowded. Although I don't really go to pubs as such. I did go to quiz nights and things like that. But, that's it. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about trust.
Yes.
I'm not talking about trust as in sort of trust
tied
up. Or trusses, which we won't go in there, but it's actual trust itself. Now, when we're young, we're told that, when I was a kid, I'd drag along to the dentist and I had fillings here, fillings there, fillings everywhere, as many people around our age group did. And my mum thought she was doing good. And I had so much mercury in my mouth. My mouth was like an industrial thermometer, It'd get hot and your mouth would open.
Yeah.
Old milk. And actually, once the dentist gave me his anaesthetics were he was an ex-army dentist, this bloke. And it was like he always used to go like, and he missed the nerve. And I got this great gumball come up the side of my mouth. Man, I was walking along, hello. He said, it's about 1 in 1,000 that happens. He's bleeding useless. But I've since found out that dentists got paid for the amount of fillings they gave.
Yes, they did. Yeah. I think they still do, actually.
Yeah. And I'm actually slowly having my silver fillings replaced with plastic ones. They're bloody expensive, but I've still got a couple of silver ones up around, but it was unbelievable. And every time I went to the dentist, I needed fillings, and I didn't have a sweet tooth. I didn't eat sweets. Funny that, isn't it?
Very strange.
We trust the dentist who was there. So when he saw children walking through the door, he was thinking, bonus money. Then doctors.
Here he comes.
That's it. Trust them as well. Better be careful what we say on this part, because the klaxons at YouTube are just starting to warm up.
Yeah. I can hear them rumbling in the background.
I think you can guess what I was going to say about them, because they're, let's put it this way. I think they are certain reps. They are reps of a certain company who identify as doctors.
Yes.
The same way as my push bike identifies as a Harley Davidson motorbike. So that's the sort of thing.
And the same way as software developers identify as scientists.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
That's right. Yes. It's like a man that's in the jungle at the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. But always remember, though, you've heard of my fictitious Tree Branch of Hope charity. It's the only charity we don't appeal for money. You see.
Yeah.
The Tree Branch of Hope is you look at a beautiful oak tree and you think, that branch looks nice and strong, ready to lynch one of those bastards from.
Yeah.
So remember, Tree Branch of Hope. It's good for children that look around for nice, strong branches. And I think that if we all think about lynch, them swinging like, imagine Nick Hancock with his green sort of, it just sort of, as I say, Tree Branches of Hope. Got to think positive and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was going to go on to is with trust. You can trust people, you can trust friends and things like that. But when the chips are down, I mean, Les Dawson once said, a friend in need is a pest.
Yeah. Quite true.
That's right. Very true. But really, when you think about it, you know who your friends are when the shit hits the extractor fan, don't you?
Exactly.
As I recently found out. That's right. But I won't go too much onto that. But shall we have a quick sniffing chat whilst I have another glug?
Yes, let's have a sniff. I shall let everybody know who's in.
Oh, that's nice.
So we've got Dark Angel. Sorry, I'm trying to go right back to the morning. Oh my God.
We've got Louise.
We've got Louise Tom. We've got Joe Weeks. We've got Dark Angel, Mike Wright. We've got Louise again. We've got. I've seen Bob Hollyoak. He's in.
He's Bob, yes. Hello, Bob.
Ancient Ruby. We've got Elizabeth Clayton. We've got Mike Wright's in. Mikey Moo.
Yes.
Suko, Aunt Sally.
Hello, Aunt Sally.
Dan Max in. We've got Bob. Bob's in. We've got our Paul from New Zealand. Paul Green. I think we've caught up.
That's right.
Hatchie's in the house.
And was it Chris is on the Guinness again?
Yeah.
Am I really? I'm actually teetotal. I normally say I was teetotal, really, but I do occasionally like Guinness, And I'm sure I'm not Mozart on the list. I am quite sober.
For the moment.
At the moment, I am, yes.
It all starts to go Pete Tong. We'll have to knock him off.
That's right. Well, we got Sean as well. He's in there, isn't he?
Sean.
Oh, you did say Sean. Yes.
Town Crayer's in.
Oh, very nice too. We certainly got a lot in there. 37. Oh, that's pretty good,
89.
And remember, go onto Facebook and please join Pure Blood Awake before Facebook go.
Yes, we know what you're all about.
You know, yes, we know what it's about, because it's about racehorses. Wink, wink, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Now, talking about, as I say, trust, I'm wondering whether anybody in chat and anybody out there has had the situation. Now, we've all been bullied when we was at school. I think everybody's been subjected to bullying. And something I've always noticed, and again, this is trust again, the bully has this kind of overpowering way where innocent, nice people worship them and believe it. It's the most weirdest situation. And I found that when I was at school, there'll be a bully and your so-called friends would back the bully. They wouldn't back you. Yeah. And I think it's a kind of, I don't know what you would call it. I think it is a kind of self-protection.
Yeah. If you're on the side of the bully, you're less likely to get bullied.
Correct. Correct. And you find the most innocent people doing that. And the bully can say anything they like and they'll be backed.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I won't harbour on too much about it, but I've been in, I would say, in my life, 2 kangaroo courts, what I call it. When I say a kangaroo court, I'm not talking about, I'll get there. It's this bloody Guinness. Someone's put something in it.
That's the Guinness.
Not also I'm talking about going into a proper court of law. I'm talking about when people kind of take you to task in like a kangaroo court.
Yeah.
And Aunt Sally said, isn't that what a narcissist does? Develop an entourage around them. That's quite correct. Yes, they do. And they can be the nastiest people in the world, but they'll still back them. And I'm going back to many years ago. I won't, as I say, harbour on what recently happened. Only a couple of days ago. I'll just talk about more of what happened a long time ago. As you know, I was a freelance bloke, and I went into this office one morning, and it was immediate start. And it's a weird place it was, and the people are a bit sort of, you know, that fluoride smile, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said good,
at the end of the day.
That's right. You say good morning, and they look as if they've been touched up, sort of. Yeah. Frightened to show it, sort of. Oh. Anyway, I went in there. Now, the agent, I don't know whether there's a muddle up or not, told them that I was a what is called an RC detailer. Sounds good, doesn't it? Which is reinforced concrete detailer. I'm not. I didn't know this, and I went in there as a designer, you see, architectural. So I walked in there and sat down, good morning. And it's really snobby. What projects has he worked on? They go like all that, Well, I just saw the crap houses in in Solihull, like, So, no, I didn't say it like that. Anyway, so I'm drawing away like this, and it got to near lunchtime, and the bloke said, here, he said, there's the engineer's calculations. I said, pardon? He said, there's engineer's calculations and stress sort of calculations. I said, hey? I said, but they're architectural details. I said, correct.
Yeah.
And he said, well, you're an RC detailer, aren't you? I said, no. And he went, oh. And then he turned around and said, but you said you were. I said, no, I didn't. I said, I've been sitting there all morning. I said, I've only said good morning to you.
Yeah.
And I sat there, miserable bastards. They didn't say a word. So anyway, he said, oh, but you did. I said, I didn't. And then suddenly the whole office sort of turned around, sort of fluoride smile. And it was a kangaroo call. Well, it started going for me. So I thought, sod this.
Yeah, bugger this for a tail.
I put my drawing instruments away, closed them, and I walked through this sort of line of people going. And I could actually hear each footstep I was making. I could actually hear my knees going as I walked out. It was the most bizarre situation. But whatever I say to this bloke, would have made no difference at all.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't at all. And I've actually, as I say, recently had this kangaroo court where my attitude is truth is pure and it always gets through.
Yeah.
And if you're truthful and honest with what you say,
yeah,
it will cut, because if you speak from the heart, but these people that do a kangaroo court speak from the mouth, not the brain or the heart, it's from the mouth. And what it is, they have a preconception about you based on fragments of information.
Yeah.
And then they stir the shit up amongst everybody else and then blame you for stirring the shit up. They do it every time.
Yep.
Every time. And it's a fascinating situation because you see people that you thought were your friends going with the fluoride sort of, you think, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But in a group situation, my attitude is keep that stum and only tell trusted people. And luckily, my trusted friends are still my trusted friends. And my feeling is, in any situation, sit back, wait, because truth always finds a way through.
Yeah.
And that is the best thing. Just sit back and wait until the truth comes through. And then you have what I call the sieve, because the people that you thought were your friends who you weren't, who believed the bully, might think about it. And they might come through the sieve and say, hello, it's okay. And what's left in the sieve is a load of shit you don't really want anyway. So it takes the wheat from the chaff, basically.
Yes.
You're sorting that out. But it's a most peculiar situation, and I just wonder, has anybody else been in a kangaroo court? Because whatever you say in a kangaroo court, you could say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious would make no difference. That's it. And everything you say is, but you said, and now you're saying this, and they're observing what you're saying.
Yeah, picking apart.
It doesn't really matter, and really, you can be as apologetic as you want. Makes no difference.
Yeah.
But if I was, and I've noticed that seems to happen to people that are inoffensive and placid.
Yes.
Because if I was an aggressive type, over 6 foot, and that would never have happened.
No.
Never happened.
No, because they pick on the weakest. Not saying that you're weak, but you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Well, excuse me, pardon. I just took a little slurp there. I'm not really a managerial sort of person, but I did have a managerial role once. And when there's any problems in the office, I used to just sort of ask someone into an office, give them a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, sit down and say, okay, what's your version of events? And just listen to them. And afterwards I'd say, I respectfully and politely hear what you say.
And disagree.
But I disagree. But I respect you. I do not do a character sort of destroy their character and drag their morality through the bloody, and this is the thing. So, that's the thing. And it's awful. But again, you just have to sit back and wait and just keep that quiet, because
that's the thing. It's keeping quiet rather than reacting to anything.
Well, that's right. I just told 2 people, that's all. And then suddenly some other person gets onto it, and then it gets onto this loudmouth git who then stirs all the shit and then comes and blames me for doing the shit.
Yeah.
So,
I've had that, but I can't talk much about it, but it was basically one person was in the wrong, clearly in the wrong, and there was evidence they were in the wrong. The other person was in the right, and everybody gravitated towards the one that was in the wrong because that person had the bigger mouth.
Precisely. It's always the biggest mouth.
Always the biggest mouth. And then all the other ones started branching off and being mouthy, and they don't take into account that it's none of their business to start with, and that the truth is all there in black and white, yet they're choosing to side with the person that's in the wrong. I don't get that. I said I'd stay in the middle, and then I got my character assassinated. So,
it's terrible.
Can't do that for doing wrong.
Yeah. Well, you're like a sort of fly in a spider's web in that situation. Yeah. Every move you make, you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. But I'm lucky because I got bullied a lot when I was a kid, so I kind of get out. I don't sound like an out of body experience, but I look on it like a kind of scientific experiment. So I'm thinking, this is interesting. And I'm observing it like a kind of scientist would. Yeah. That person's saying that person's doing that. And as you walk out, people are going, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife. And it's very, very interesting because, as I say, if people are intelligent, they will see that, the loud mouth. If they're not they'll see through the loud mouth. If they're not intelligent, well, that's it, But no, it's quite interesting when you get these sort of situations. And I'm sorry to hear that, as I say, with you, Debbie. It's quite, but I think that I used to have this, as I say, I've only had 2 kangaroo courts I've been in, and they're both not very pleasant experience. But I think everybody should go through it, part of their life, because it is an interesting experience to see how people become judgmental.
Yeah.
They will drag your name through the mud.
Yeah.
They'll do a complete character assassination of you.
Yes.
And I heard when I'd left this situation that everybody was putting in their 10 pence worth, going poof, 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 against me.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because they've taken the word of somebody that's been spouting off over what the actual truth is.
That's right.
That's what it all boils down to.
Well, that's it. And they don't realise that, they don't say, well, that person who's not like that. And they're saying, you've changed. Yeah.
Oh, they don't turn around and say, well, that person's never done me any wrong, so why am I siding against them?
Precisely. But I've always found that to be non-judgmental and managerial, it worked. Yeah. Because 2 people, they might have had a disagreement. I'm being Mr. Neutral, and I'm just politely saying, well, I disagree with you, but I respectfully hear what you say.
Yeah, respect your opinion.
That's it. And I'm not really being judgmental. I'm not dragging their name through the mud or anything like that. That is the thing. And it does, and I actually think it's a kind of aggression. What it is, bullies are weak.
Yes.
These people, they want to kind of be the big I am and look at me, I'm marvellous, I'm fantastic sort of thing.
Yeah.
And assume they're in a ruling role when they're not. And that type of thing, But and also get 2 bullies together, they'll wind each other up.
Oh yeah.
Into it. And it is like a shark's feeding frenzy. They sort of go I'd love to have been a fly on the wall afterwards. It would have been fascinating.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I would have done. So and earphones, go around the corner, But it's when you think about it, it's easy to be people. We're all human. We all make mistakes, and I've made mistakes. Yes, I've said wrong things that I've regretted, but it's not that bad. I'm not a nasty person.
No,
generally, Well, I don't think it's up for other people to judge that, but I like to speak from the heart.
Yeah, me too.
And unfortunately, that rules that, not the other way around. And that is the big problem, Yes. But no, it's quite interesting. But when you get people advising you on your life in a kind of heated not a heated confrontation, but kind of bullying at you, and I think also it's wrong to argue back in a situation like a kangaroo court. You just say, yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, sorry. Just say anything. You just want to get out of that situation.
Yeah, you just
don't worry about saying face. Don't worry about anything like that. You just want to be out of that situation and let them stew in their own juice.
Yes.
So you say anything at all. It doesn't matter. Apologise, because if you stand up to them, let's say stand up to a bully, it will make no difference at all.
No.
That's the situation.
Just gives them more ammunition to have a go at.
Precisely. Yes, but I just wonder if anybody in chat has actually had a situation of a kangaroo court at all.
Yes, let us know.
It'd be quite interesting. And talking about teeth, back in the days when they got pay per filling, this is Aunt Sally. Yep, every time I went to the dentist as a child, it was 4 fillings. Yes. Well, something that's only happened twice to me in my lifetime, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's twice. I went to the dentist last time, when was it, a couple of months back, and I was almost in shock because the dentist said these words: "It's okay, you don't need anything done for the next 6 months." I went, huh? Because I always look in your mouth and go, oh yes, we need blah 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 there, oh blah 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 there, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know. But do you notice that they use your mouth like a tool shed, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I better turn my phone off before.
That might be an idea.
Yes, it might be a good idea. Making funny noises. Here we go. Go away. Yes, but this is the thing about trust.
Yes.
We trust what we're told, and it's a bit like last week was. By the way, John Hamer will be neat. He's got a note from his parents. He'll be back next week, but he had an unexpected appointment crop up. He had family commitments he had, and he phoned me, and I said, "Okay, we're putting it off next week, and the show next week is going to be called That Sinking Feeling."
Yes, yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, and it's not about the Titanic. It's about a ship that was sunk over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But changed the course of history. But
yeah.
People don't realise it. Let me guess.
Yes.
Now, Paul Johnson said, sorry, Chris, stand up to bullies. It depends on the situation, Paul. I've always believed in that, and I have stood up to bullies. But when you're in a situation, when you're in a room that has been closed, the door has been closed behind you, and you've got two people with fixed character and assassination of you, you can stand up to them. It's going to make no difference at all because you want to get out of that room as quickly as possible. Because whatever you say, as I said, you could say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. They're not listening to that. No. You could show them all the evidence to prove you're innocent. They won't see it because they are after assassinating your character. That's it. So what would be the point? All they would hear is raised voices, and you'd have the fluoride smile brigade outside going, even more. So really, it's best to keep calm, keep composure, and just walk out. Doesn't matter if you've got your tail between your legs, metaphorically, just away, just get out of the way. And that is actually the first rule. I've never done judo, but I worked with a chap who was a black belt judo, and he said the first thing they teach you is don't worry about saving face. Your job is to preserve you and get out of any nasty situation. So if you leg it, fine, because your job is to preserve you. And that's what your brain does. It automatically has a self-preservation thing. So shouting and hollering and standing up to the bully in that situation, I'd have been there longer, which would have been nasty.
Drawing it out.
The drawing it out. So you just timidly walk away. That's it. But in another situation, yes, you do stand up to the bully. But I realised I'd be getting nowhere because it was character assassination. That's it. You know.
You've got to assess the situation, haven't you, as to how you deal with it.
That's right.
I think.
Well, that's it. I'm me, and that's it. But yes, I will stand up to a bully, and I will give my bloody right hander if they rub me up the wrong way.
Yes.
I know it's a bit myself, but it wouldn't have been the right thing to do then, you know. Although I really did feel like it. You know, I totally agree. Truth always comes out in the end. There's always a trial.
The trail of truth.
Trail of truth. That's right. And Gandhi said that. He said the truth always comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens, the truth will come out. So you just sit back and just wait, and the truth does come out eventually. So that's it, you know. But again, we all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And the thing with bullies, I think they are frightened of making mistakes. So they jump on other people's mistakes to expand their sort of influence. So to speak. But it's only a fragile influence. Because below that, I mean, I did give when I was at school a bully a right bloody hander, almost knocked him out.
Yeah.
And after that, I had the other bullies coming for me. Yeah. So you know, you do find this, but they say bullies are weak. Yes, they are weak, but I think they are fighting their own fears in many ways. But again, the quiet chat, the cup of tea or coffee is always the best way.
Yeah.
You know,
or meet them with niceness. Yes, of course. Yes,
that's it. You know,
you learn all these tactics over the years.
Well, that's right. That's right. But you've also got to understand yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're a placid sort of person, you know, it didn't, quite honestly, where a bit like James Bond, was it? Shaken but not stirred.
Not stirred, yeah.
Yes, so that's it. But going further on, looking at trust.
Yes, we've got a question.
Have we really?
We've got a question from Dark Angel regarding trust. Chris, can trust be bought? Trust at any cost?
Can you explain a bit more, Dark Angel? I'm not quite sure how to answer that one. Can trust be bought? Do you get that one, Deb? I don't.
No.
Trust at any cost.
Yes.
Well, governments, they pay propaganda agents to fake trust to you. So,
see, this is what I was going to say about trust earlier. It's like when we're little, we trust anything anybody says, and it's not until we start getting older and looking at other things and other people's points of view, we just trust in what we're told as we grow up.
Yes.
So we're told, all right, for a horrible example, because there's always like to and fro's about it, but we're told the world is a globe. So we believe that the world's a globe because we don't know any different. We're relying on the authorities to tell us what's what. And it's only when you start getting older and you start questioning things and going, hang on a minute, we were told, but now I found this out. So I think that sometimes messes with your trust a little bit because you've trusted all those years what you've thought, and then you start to find out that it might not quite be what you were told.
Well, that's right. And I think that it's a bit like, well, look at the moon landings, for example. I mean, when you look at that thing that's supposed to have landed on the moon, I think infant school could make something a bit better. You know, bits the old Baco foil around it, you know. I think it's made of cardboard. And I mean, I know I've gone on about this, but I saw the command module.
Yeah.
And I walked into the place convinced they landed on the moon and walked out convinced they never landed on the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so laughable, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit like the Wright brothers. Was it 1903 or something? They did the first manned flight, and then aeroplanes not evolve into anything for the next 100 years.
Yeah,
you know, and we've still got the. You know, wonder if we can get men to fly. Oh well, we've destroyed all the planets now. Yeah, we can't fly anymore. The Wright brothers, we know they did it. You know, we've got some elastic bands.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. I mean, that has never happened in history. We've never gone back in with sort of. I mean, it's just absolute nonsense.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, what got me is when I saw this command module, it's about the size of a very large, you know, underneath the staircase.
Yeah.
It's about that size, a large one. Okay, sticker. Can you imagine 3 blokes trying to change the space? You did it. Get your bloody foot out of my mouth. Oh, shit. Oh, bloody hell. You know. I mean, their arse might hit against one of the switches on this panel and sort of send
them back down.
Or something. I mean, it is so bullshit. It's absolutely unbelievable. Believe it. And there's loads of other things, like, for example, the propaganda during World War II. People still believe it today. That's another amazing thing, because you see pictures after D-Day, which they're still showing, I believe. I wouldn't know because I haven't watched the television for 10 years, but I know up to about 15, 20 years ago, the BBC was still showing pictures of French ladies waving Union Jack flags and kissing spotlessly clean troops who were supposed to have come ashore and fought their way through Normandy. No. All cleanly shaved, you know.
It's the same as the German holiday camp pictures, isn't it, that they showed of
yes,
unreal of
Butlins.
All these families, having a gay time and everything else.
Yeah,
it was to cover up everything, all the atrocities that were going on.
Yeah. It's a sort of, it's a cover up. And the other thing that I've noticed is that have you noticed that, for example, we've now got fake protesters like this environmental ones, which is a load of the shit of the bull.
The shit of the bull.
The shit of the bull. You know, these silly sods that are sticking themselves to the roads. Because I've been doing that around where I live recently. There's the M25. And they've been sticking themselves. Well, I've got the easy answer. I get them off with the aid of a steamroller. You know, lovely, you know. Watch yourself. But apparently they're not using glue. They're making their glue, making out they're gluing themselves. And if they use Gorilla Glue, it's shit anyway, so it won't be making it different.
Don't ever use, I can't even say the company name, but don't ever use one of the DIY building product shops own super glue, because it's crap. Glues everything but what it should glue.
Well, that's right. The monkey glue that I got, I've actually done it as per book, end grain, and the bloody stuff still fails.
Yeah,
it's the strongest glue in the world. Crap.
Yeah. I threw mine out. It was that good.
Well, do you know, I was as a bloke's market stall. He used to sell it. He doesn't anymore. And everybody that went up there said, he said, I used to sell this monkey glue, shall we say?
Yes.
The other glues are available. And he said, shit. And everybody said, yeah, I found it. Yeah, I grew. Was it? Some bloke said, oh yeah, I did this shelf on the wall, and bloody thing fell off after.
Yeah, hardly surprising.
Yeah, yes, right. But I like this one. What Mike Wright said here. I don't know how people can afford to go out drinking anymore. Much cheaper to drink at home. Yes, I agree with you. The trouble is, Guinness, it's nice out of the pulled from, you know, the instead of coming out of a can.
Yeah, out of the pump.
The pump, that's right.
I said tap then, but it's the same sort of thing.
But there's anyone trouble, they use cleaning fluid to clean the pipes, and they never clear it out properly.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Make you bloody sick
from that.
Yes. And what's this? Tree of Unlife. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's the only non-registered charity that doesn't collect for money.
Yeah.
What we collect, because I was thinking, I suppose we all had a sort of picture of Nick Hancock, sort of like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we all imagine it at the same time, you know, all hold hands or something. Go,
yeah, that kind of like,
yes, just imagine it. And you look at this tree branch, imagine him swinging from it, you know. Yeah. He'd still have his grin, wouldn't he? Sort
of, yeah, for longer.
I like this one. What is it? Motorcyclist who identifies as a cyclist takes first place in the Tour de France. Oh, have you seen that beauty contest in somewhere in America?
No.
Oh, it's a classic. And it's a bloke dressed as he's fat, he's ugly, it's a bloke.
Is he hairy?
Woman's frock. I don't know about that. And there's all these really very nice young girls behind him, and he wins first prize. Sorry, she wins first prize. And he's walking along. He's got these blinking great muscular legs with the high heels. And I'm thinking, what the heck
is going on?
But it's a bit like these people that sort of, what is it now? I mean, to me, there's only two sexes, male and female. That's it. Full stop, you know. And was it male, female, and what's the other one? Oh, crumbs. On politicians. That's the third sex.
That's the one.
Yes. What's this? I am teetotal. I only drink tea. Ha ha ha. I'm actually I used to be a tea-holic.
Yes, you did.
And I went into Miles, and he said, "How many cups do you have a day?" And I said, 10. He went, "What?" I said, 10. So he said, "Right, cut it down to 2." I thought, stop that. I'm going to cut it out, and I don't drink tea now. I do occasionally if someone offers me a cup, but I don't. I have rhubarb tea.
Yeah.
She's just as good, really, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there's a shortage of fig and honey rhubarb tea.
Is there?
Twinings.
Well, who knew?
Well, I knew it because I like it, and I can't get it. I went to Tesco's and I just can't get it. So get your bleeding finger out, Tesco's. You know, I need
get it up, get it back in again.
Right. Louise has said, I have always liked to go against the grain. I used to go against the bully, even if I didn't like the kid who was being bullied. And I still can't stand bullies. That's Louise Wilcox. Yes. Well, bullying is a sort of, people can, if they disagree with someone or you think somebody has done something very nasty, you don't think they're a wicked person. You think, well, okay, you work out, perhaps they've had a judgment of character. Perhaps they've done something that's not that out of character because there's something bothering them. You would reason it out. You don't act ignorantly from a very narrow standpoint. And this is the thing. And when people are judgmental from a narrow standpoint, that's when it gets very, very dangerous, extremely dangerous, you know.
Definitely.
Paul Johnson's just said almost psychopathic. Yes. You know, the thing is, people say sociopath and psychopath. There's a difference between the two. A psychopath is born. A sociopath is actually can it kind of becomes like a psychopath. Would you agree with that, Deb?
Yes. Yes, I would.
The main difference. So supposing you might be a married couple, the bloke might be a psychopath and he'll turn his wife into a sociopath because she wasn't a psychopath at the beginning.
Yeah.
But you know, if you look up Dr. Here, he has a hell of a lot on this, you know. But
good comment from Mike there.
What's that one? Where is it?
Psychological bullying is worse than physical because it gets in there.
That's right. And especially if you have it when you're a child.
Yeah.
It can be pretty bad, you know. But it can do the other thing, because if somebody bullies me now, I kind of get outside my body. Sounds a bit weird. So I'm sort of there looking as if, so it doesn't upset me. It doesn't bother me.
No.
So there's this kangaroo court. It didn't bother me as such because I was sort of looking at it like, oh, this is a scientific experiment. How am I going to get out of here?
Yeah.
Because you detach yourself from it. And that's one good thing about being bullied when you're a kid, because you kind of learn to detach yourself from the situation. So you look at yourself as your bodily shell walking out, but you are the scientist that's looking at it and analysing it and thinking, that's interesting, that's fascinating. Yeah. Wonder why that person did that, why that person's looking there. And it becomes more interesting, you know, that way, you know. But,
I agree.
And I like what Ancient Ruby said, trust has to be earned, and not always by mouth, but by doing what one says. Body language speaks far bigger than words. And this goes back to frequency and energy and vibration, because you can walk into a situation, you can sense the vibration. It's like that place that I worked. When I walked in there, the energy and the vibration, there's something weird there.
Yeah.
And I had a gut feeling something was going to happen.
Yeah.
You just think, But if I remember rightly, I walked out of that and in the afternoon walked into a lovely 18-month contract with a better rate. So it did me okay. So sometimes a negative can be a positive.
Exactly. There's always a positive out of a negative. That's what I keep saying.
Well, the big problem is, hello, here it goes. Hey, I'm back again. It was a bit early last week, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. That's 5 minutes in.
So we can actually have bets on it, couldn't we? Within the first 30 minutes, and we're 43 minutes in, and it's done it. You know. But really, when you think about the way this energy and vibration, our mind, it actually has to make thousands of decisions every day.
Yeah.
And you can get into a routine because your brain is there for your survival. So you're walking along the road, it's just, it's a bit dodgy, it's a bit dangerous, do that. And it's easy to say no because it's dangerous. And it's like going places, strange places for the first time. Your brain is saying, a bit dodgy that. No, I wouldn't go there. No. Yeah. That's why you're apprehensive about going to different places that you've never been before. But really, what have you got to fear? It's only fear itself that you fear.
Yeah.
And this is where these people that make a success of their business, they make a success because they've eliminated the fear. They've taken the chance. You don't make a stupid chance of it. It's a calculated risk, yes, but you look at all your odds and things like that. Yeah. And it's like, if there's something you're lacking in your life, it's not what's around you, it's yourself.
Yeah.
Putting out the wrong energy to get what you want. And there's loads of these motivational videos that you can see on YouTube, but they're all saying the same thing. And that is, like I said the other week, you've got to change your energy, frequency, and vibration. Yeah. And once you change those three, then things start to slip into place. And you think about it, if you get up in the morning And I'm doing this now, saying it's going to be a wonderful day, and then do a countdown: 3, 2, 1. I'm getting up. It's a wonderful day. You will have a good day. And if you wake up feeling shit, you know, is it DJ B2? Hello, DJ B2. That gut feeling is a good thing to trust. It's your subconscious picking up stuff your conscious mind has not picked up.
I agree with that. Well said.
Yes, that is really what
we don't rely on that enough, do we? We react immediately. We don't stop and think about how we're feeling and what we're picking up on. And I think we need to get back into that.
I totally agree with you. I mean, it's a very strange thing that happened about 2.5 years ago. No, hang on, 2 years ago, I think it was, when I came off my push bike and I knocked myself out for about a quarter of an hour.
Yeah.
And I skidded on slippery leaves. Now, that taught me a lesson. I do not cycle when there's slippery leaves around, because wet leaves are probably as worse or worse than ice.
Yes.
At least, because it's several layers.
Yeah.
Now, that taught me,
all shifts on top of each other.
But when I got up that morning, I had a funny feeling something was going to happen. It did. Yeah. It's very strange. You get a gut feeling. And there was a scientific study done many years ago, and I think it was Yale University, but don't quote me on this. Can you hear that?
Yeah. What was that?
It's the goblins.
Gremlins.
Ooh. We have that Andy on here. Ooh. That was really creepy, wasn't it?
It was a little bit.
But anyway, what they're saying is, they said telepathy, they found it is real in a way, and gut feeling is real, because it protected us. Because when we was in the jungle, we'd be walking along and thinking, better not go up there. There might be a bloody tiger up there, and there is.
Yes, exactly.
I sense that there was something not right. And we have this dumbed down, because when we go to school, it's sit up straight, pay attention.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, Deb. Was you like this at school? I was always more interested in what was going on outside. Couldn't give a shit.
I was always staring out the window.
And teacher said to me, I've never forgotten it, curiosity killed the cat, and that's what's going to kill you. I never forget that. Yeah, I thought, that's a nice lady. You know, she had that with a knife in her hand. But no, because I was always I always thought outside was more fascinating. And also, my brain doesn't work with, we sit down and we do 1 hour of maths, then we get up and we go in, we do 1 hour of English, then we get up and we go somewhere else and have 1 hour of geography. My brain doesn't work like that. It's a lazy brain. It says, oh, I'm interested in geography. It has to need to. You know, I mean, I don't know if it's the same with you, Deb. There's places where I live that I've never been to because I never needed to go there.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, ladies' toilets, for example. I've had no need to go to the ladies' toilets because I'm a bloke.
Exactly.
Mind you, public toilets were near where the nearest shopping centre. When people say, can you tell me where the toilets are, please? I'll just say, use your nose.
Yes. Yeah. Always a good indicator.
The writing's on the wall, you know, especially inside there.
Yeah.
But what's this? This is the interesting one from Haji. Answer had a chat with a friend our age-ish. Spot on when it comes to fillings. We are cattle farmed on the estate. I'm sure they're having us eat each other soon, like Silent Green, the film.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that film.
That was
a bit worrying.
Do you actually think that in the 70s they were trying to tell us the future? Because I get that, because they're very close. Very, very close. There's something odd. Because did you know that Star Trek was a psyops?
Yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
I upset Trekkies when I say that, but it was because the actual actors, they're interviewed by Gene Roddenberry or whatever, Roddenberry or whatever he believes, and him as well. And and they didn't want to know their acting ability. They wanted to know their political views. Then there was a bit right wing, out they went. They wanted someone left wing. Because William Shatner Pants or whatever his name is, All right, I'm going to be rude. I think it's like looking at a bleeding wardrobe. He's acting so wooden.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how to act. I'm full stop, paragraph, new sentence. Oh, turn the script. You know what I mean, it's shit. I mean, I don't like Star Trek very much because the acting's so shit. It's beyond shit, isn't it? I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
But you compare that to stuff that's out today, and it looks really amateur, doesn't it?
Oh Christ! And why is it every planet had the same gravity as Earth?
Yeah.
Like Earth. I mean, it's just crap. I don't really like science fiction much. I like stuff like 1984 because that is what could happen. But shit like Star Trek, I'm sorry. There's all these Trekkies now go, I'm switching him off. Oh, bloody awful that, you know. But you know you can have a Star Trek wedding in America, in Florida.
I know.
No, sorry, Los Angeles. Where's that place where they do all the casinos?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, yeah. You can have a Star Trek wedding there. I know someone that went to it, and they have people all dressed up with the Star Trek gear. I was thinking, loony. Now, shall we look in chat, see what we got here?
There you go.
Drinking on a school night, someone might think you're a boozer, Chris.
There you go.
I assure you I'm not a boozer, far from it.
Yes.
I'm teetotal actually, but I just sort of have an occasional, it's not binge drink or anything like that. I just have occasional half a pint. That's it, really. I'm quite happy like that. And I might leave it alone for a couple of months and not drink anything. But no, I'm very light drinker. But as I say, I'm really into Rooibos tea, man. It's really freaking.
It's really out there. Oh, that's just reminded me.
Yeah.
Coming up possibly next week, there may be a news report from the Fockham Hall News, local news.
Shall we go for it now?
No, we're not now.
Oh, we're not now?
I haven't done it yet, but I'm saying probably by next week we'll have a local news report from there.
I'm looking forward to that. I like your news reports. And that.
I went for a little nana nap this afternoon, and just as I was drifting off, this idea pinged into my head, and I thought, right, I'm going with that. So as soon as I got up, I started writing everything down.
You're brilliant at those.
All in the planning.
All in the plan. You've really got a skill for that. And by the way, Miles doesn't know it. Brilliant. And you know, Miles doesn't know it yet because I only texted him for about 5 minutes before going on here.
Right.
No, it's longer than that. No, it must have been about an hour. Tell a lie. And he wants to. We're hoping to do the Thursday program, but I'm out on Thursday, so we might do it on Wednesday. Oops.
Right. Oh well.
I don't know. I don't know when I'm going out. I'm not on Thursday, so I'm just sort of, I'll speak to him. But he's what's it? It's going to be gut reaction.
Right.
Stomach. So that's going to be good if you've had a few pints, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we have an advert? I don't know which advert.
Well, let's have an advert, shall we?
Which one haven't we seen for a bit?
Well, I don't know.
I don't either.
Exciting.
Let's have this one.
Okay.
Ready, go.
This is a Fockham Hall sponsored presentation. Ladies, are you fashion conscious and stylish, yet like to also incorporate practicality into your everyday clothing choice? Do you have incontinence problems which are tedious to deal with? Do you feel the need to be able to camp out at the drop of a hat? Are you worried that your knees don't get enough attention, or that your back may fray at any given moment? Are you vexed that your underwear doesn't get seen enough, or do you want to appear nude from the waist down but not? Do you have social anxiety and need clothing you can disappear into at the prospect of having to interact? Our designers, Crutch and Such, have taken everyday problems into great consideration and are proud to present to you their autumn collection. Be the first to see and smell the new designs, only at the Fockham Hall Fashion Show. 35 Fock Bobs a ticket will bring you the very best in the new fashions. Orange squash and fig rolls are provided in the interval. We hope to see you there.
That wasn't orange squash.
Yes, I thought that. Bloody salty, this. It's salty.
Somebody's been drinking for 7 hours.
Do you know? Do you know what gets me though? It's always makes me laugh. You know they have people of Walmart. Has anybody seen that on?
Oh God, yeah.
Some of these freaks. They all have people of Tesco's.
Yeah,
because that's sort of the English equivalent. I mean, I've got a big superstore not far from me.
Yeah.
Bloody Nora, some of the sites you see in there. But the worst site, I might have mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, was earlier this year in Aldi. And did I tell you about that woman walking around with a dressing gown on, with nothing on her face? Not a pretty sight. You know, it's sort of, well, it put me off my dinner actually. She wasn't exactly a, shall I say, beautiful blonde or brunette walking around.
Yeah.
She's an old dear actually. There's her husband, you know.
I can't even go out to the bin in my pajamas, so I'm hardly likely to go up to Tesco's in pajamas.
I know. It's weird, isn't it? Yes. But we got some good ones in Aunt Sally. She said, what is it now? They don't get paid per filling anymore. Chris, not by the NHS anyway. Do NHS dentists still exist? I'm hearing not.
Few and far between, Aunt Sally.
They are few and far between. Well, they don't have to give the injection. They can do it. Put some, you know, that's a. I went
to the dentist a few years ago because we'd been over to Portugal and there'd been a massive storm and the lights went out just as I was going down the stairs and I missed my foot. I didn't fall, but I missed my footing and cracked my teeth together. And I ended up with a hairline crack right up one tooth. Anyway, I got referred to the dentist and another dentist, and he said, right, I'm going to put your injection in. And I'm like gripping the nurse's hand. Yeah. So he put the first one in and he's like massaging like that. We sat a minute chatting and then he went, can you feel anything? I said, yeah. Okay, then we'll put a bit more in. So he goes in again, puts a bit more in, massages it round, chatting again. Can you feel anything? Yeah. Said, right, okay, we'll just top it up a bit. Well, by the time he'd finished, my head went numb. Couldn't feel any of my head at all. Like, what the hell?
Bloody hell, yeah.
Like most of the day.
Hi, man. But tell you what gets me is when it wears off.
Yeah.
And the last time I went to the dentist, last 2 times, I haven't had injections. She's a pretty good dentist. And it's not as bad as you think. I mean, you're there, you're perspiring heavily, and suddenly she might hit the nerve a little bit. So, and she said, put your hand up. If I hit the nerve, I said, you know, I don't need to do that. I said, just pull my legs down from the ceiling. That's what you do. But actually, I find it's better without an injection because you come out. And the good thing about plastic fillings, you can eat on them straight away. You don't have to wait until they go off.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're bloody expensive. That's the downside. But at least you haven't got that shit inside your mouth, you know.
Yeah, there is that. Puffing off its mercury or whatever it's doing.
Well, that's it. And what was it now? It wasn't Rothschild, it was another one. Rockefeller, I think, that got introduced mercury filling because he had all the mercury mines.
Oh, right, yeah. Needed to sell it to somebody.
That's right. Then we've got a nice one from Ancient Ruby there. Oh, isn't that nice? Thank you. You're a complete gentleman, Chris. That's why my office had gents written on the door.
Yeah.
Your kind heart draws these sort of people to you. Do not feed them. Oh, that's very moving, that is. Thank you very much. Bless you. Thank you, Ancient Ruby. That's very kind. Thanks for your kind words. You know, that's very moving. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Joe said something interesting here. Smash that like button and share, please.
Yeah, she can't get out of moderating mode. She don't moderate for us, but she, moderate for everybody else. She knows I love her, really.
But Aunt Sally's come up with a good one here. She says, thanks, Joe. Joe, I met an 80-year-old woman who was being charged nearly $1,000 for some routine work that the NHS wouldn't do.
That's disgusting.
I know. But what gets me now, they got the mask on, they got goggles, and they got this plastic dough flop around the front. So how the bloody hell can they see? I mean, they're going to sort of flap the ear hole or something. You know?
I don't know how they can see out of all that condensation, because surely when you start breathing, that's just all going to mist up.
That's right.
Could be drilling your nose for all you know.
Well, the last time I went there, I've said this before, they had a big sign up, which is still a mystery. There's signs everywhere since this last 2 years. Thinking Bob's been around, and it said do not pass on the stairs. But what aren't you allowed to pass? Urine?
Yeah.
Crap on there? Didn't say what you're not allowed to pass. And you're not allowed to use a lavvy anymore. They've got sort of like yellow stripes. I don't know why. And it's just staff only.
All right.
So what do you do? Piss in a flower pot? Is it a window job? You know, open the window.
Now that explains all the dead rubber plants in dentists' waiting rooms.
That's it. They piss in the bloody rubber plants.
Yeah, killing them off.
This is your Mike. Mike Wright has just said, what is it? My dentist just went private. All right. Do you remember we had a short?
Bigger earner, isn't it?
Well, who would do a job? Because basically all you're doing is, was it an apple a day keeps the dentist away, but only if your aim is good.
Same for your doctor as well. Just to bear that in mind.
Oh, I got some apples off my apple tree, which is one of these miniature apple trees. I've got about 10, 11 apples.
Oh, nice.
Bloody delicious. And I actually ate one that was too early in the season, about September. And excuse my language, it sent my ass up to my elbows. But I picked them, was it a couple of weeks ago, just at the end of October. And they're lovely, beautiful, you know. Nice. This is Joe said, what was it? Be overly nice. That really gets to them. Bullies. But I always think that what Robin Williams said, he said, people are fighting internal battles and you don't know what is going on inside their mind. Always be nice to people. And I always like to treat people I like to be treated myself. And I think if you go through life like wanting to leave the room with people laughing, I don't give a damn whether they're laughing at me or with me. But as long as you create a laugh, that's what really matters. I mean, I can't stand it when people are sort of miserable. And I feel sad that they are, but it's nice to create a bloody good laugh. Have a joke. Have a laugh. What's wrong with it? It's free. It's lovely. And it's you know, and bullies create nasty atmospheres. So, you know, that's it. You know. But now this is interesting. I think the flood myth is referring to the influx of intellectual property in the form of alpha, beta, and numerics into the minds of men.
Okay.
I think he's talking in code there somehow. Yes, I think I've got it.
Jolly good. Yes. I can't. I haven't got the brain capacity today to be thinking about anything too deep.
No, but
I'm doing the window staring thing.
What's this? Something was blocked for 5 minutes or something. Something
no,
gone wrong
like that.
Yeah. Okay. Righto. Right. We got here sociopathic, psychopathic, and the good old narcissist. Unfortunately, surrounded by them, being empathic, forget it, and it's all age groups at all levels. I agree with you. But the strange thing about psychopaths, if you look at Dr. Hare, what he says about them, I mean, it's very difficult to tell whether a person is a psychopath or not. It takes a lot of experts spend a long time finding out whether someone. It's easy to call someone a psychopath when they're not. They can be narcissistic, and they can be the most charming people in the world. They can be sort of innocent like this and be very narcissistic. It can be anybody that can actually do that. And the sad thing is that when we are actually born, we're all narcissistic because it's survival of the fittest. And that's why children, young babies and that, they will push the other baby out of the way to get the food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They will do it. And you learn empathy as you get on. But some people do not learn empathy, especially for sport kids.
Yeah.
They won't learn. And I think it was Roger Moore. He said he was a sport kid.
Yeah.
And he went to overseas. And he said he admitted it. I admire his guts for admitting it. He said, you know, he's a bit of a sod in the studio. And he saw starving children. He said, and that brought him straight to earth and changed him as a human being. He said,
I then had Roger Moore.
Yeah, he had empathy for people. But to admit that's a real man, to admit what he was like. I got a great respect for him for admitting it, you know. Now, this is an interesting one. Now, pets can tell about a person's often. They can feel darkness more often than not. Yes, I agree with you. animals can tell your mood and things like that.
Definitely.
It's very interesting, you know. Now we got here. My pets certainly can. Well, I've got a pet spider called Boris that lives around a ring mirror in my door mirror in my car.
Yeah.
I think he gets my mood, you know. And it's a bit windy for him sometimes when I'm going down the road.
Yeah, bless him. Gets a bit of wind through the hair on his legs, though.
That's right. Now it says here, what's this?
Sorry, I've got.
Oh yes, so you've had that one. That's okay. Don't you worry.
Get off.
Telepathy is 100% real. That's correct, Ancient Ruby. I went to a talk once with who was the fourth goon? Potty Time. Michael Bentine.
Bentine, yeah.
And Michael Bentine was brilliant. And I went to this talk, and it's the quickest, I don't know how long he's up on stage for, it must have been over an hour. Quickest hour I think I've ever gone through. And he was saying that he went to the Amazon, and he said tribes there take telepathy as just everyday knowledge. It's no big deal to them.
Yeah.
And they can communicate over miles. They know when they're hunting, where their partners are and everything else like that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's quite interesting, that is, you know.
This pop-up won't go off my screen and I've no idea why.
What's that?
I don't know what I've done.
Oh dear. You're right.
Yeah, it's just blocking out on the
screen. Silent green is people.
Yes.
And what about insects? You fancy a nice cockroach tart or something like that, you know?
Oh yeah, cockroach pie.
But oh dear, Aunt Sally, will you need psychiatric treatment? I grew up watching Star Trek. Oh dear. Yes, is that child abuse? I had a crush on William Shatner. Have you been to Specsavers?
Yes,
until I found out he was my dad's age.
Never got that.
Yes, I mean, what was that? William Shatner. He had a range of ladies' underwear, Shatner panties.
Yes, that's
it wasn't a success. Yes, the one. Yes. Was it? This is Solent City. I tried that thing of staring at the back of people and willing them to turn round.
Oh,
but no one did.
I've been successful with that. That's really good.
I've been successful. Also, my gut feelings tend to be incorrect. Perhaps this is linked to no paranormal activity for me. I don't know. It's something. It's to do with your sensitivity.
Yeah.
Your frequencies that you put out. It never fails with me. If I'm walking behind someone and I think, look round, they look round. Works every time.
I've done that loads of times, yeah.
Can you also guess what they're going to say before they say it?
Very occasionally. It's happened a few times, but not very often.
Also, you can always tell when a person's off more than somebody else can. You think, you okay today? Yeah, I'm okay. And you know there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Where everybody else hasn't noticed it, but you notice.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that is something, you know. And I think that be interested to see if Data's episode of Iris
Reunification 2024. I don't know, I never saw that.
I haven't the foggiest idea what that's on about.
I know Data's out of Star Trek, but that's about all I know.
Yes, but Captain's Log and all that. But it's a funny thing that people actually have learned. It's an actual language, isn't it? What it is on Star Trek? I don't know. Klingon.
Yeah.
Because there was they used to sell Star Trek toilet paper. Do you know that? It's just guaranteed to get all the Klingons out. So there we go. That's the one.
I'm with Mike on this one. I'm with Mikey Moo there. I don't trust anyone who doesn't like animals or anyone animals don't like.
I agree with you. And I think
if I ever had a character.
Yeah. And let's face it, Bob chose you, didn't he? Bob the cat.
He did.
That's right. And
everybody could have chosen.
Yes. That's right. Bob the cat was isn't it funny how animals do choose you? They have this sense that they give off, you know. But it's got Aldous Huxley, 30s, Brave New World, was telling us first. Then Eric Blair. Oh, yes, Eric Blair was 1984 bloke, wasn't he? Probably a relation to Tony. In 1948, about 1984, Orwell. Then there was the movie Metropolis, 20s. And then came along. That's right, Hatchie.
Yeah.
I think that Huxley and Orwell and that, they were quite brave. They were telling us what was going to happen. Yeah. And George Orwell, who was named Blair, funny enough, he was so accurate. He really was. And I still think the 1956 film that you can see free of charge on YouTube and go on there is the best. The remaking wasn't as good. People criticise it. They said the bloke who acted the part of Winston was a bit overweight. But no, I still think it was good because it's actually filmed at the, I think it was filmed in London with the bombed out houses. So it gave it effect. The black and white. And was it Sutherland bloke? What's his name? Not Donald Sutherland, was it? No, Donald
Pleasance.
Sorry, Donald Pleasance. He was brilliant in that. And the girl that acted his daughter, who turned on her father, brilliant as well. But that was years ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But did you know that the BBC did a television version of that? I think it was in 1954, 2 years before the film. And the bloke, Peter Cushing, who acted the part of Winston, he acted the part so well because they had this sort of cage around his head and had a starving rat. They said go, and he acted the part so well that people thought he was actually being tortured. And the BBC got loads and loads of complaints because he was such a good actor, and it was done live.
Yeah,
Peter Cushing was the most underrated actor there ever has been. And what a man!
Yeah,
everything you hear about him is good. He's the kindest man ever. He came from in Kent, didn't he? He lived in Kent. Whitstable, I think, was the place where he lived. And Peter Cushing also, he was that part that he acted in his younger days, in his 50s. Some of the films he was in were bloody well acted.
Yeah.
And remember, they were live.
Yeah.
So, you know, they had to quickly run and change and run on again. It was quite something, you know.
Yeah.
Now, this is an interesting one. Ancient Rubius said, we were all born to be original, yet most follow the same as the other.
Yeah. Peoples.
When you look at it, I'm getting sick of seeing people looking as if they're dressed in their bedclothes. Have you noticed that? There's a sort of hoodie and there's also
jogging bottoms.
I mean, it was a bit too over the top when you see pictures years ago, people sort of going down the road with shirt and tie. That was like my dad. Everybody went, he had a shirt and tie on. You know, and always smart, you know, doing a DIY job. Well, I don't think you had to do it shirt and tie then, but we go out for a lovely, relaxing day in the countryside.
Shirt, tie, jacket.
We've got jacket, shirt, tie, and my uncle all sort of, you know, with a not a t-shirt, but what they call it, a polo shirt on, and you know, it's really strange that it's a kind of the older people were like that. That was what it was. That was too far-fetched, but now it's gone the opposite way, and I think people were probably better in the 80s, really.
Yeah, new romantic clothes and all that, kilts and frilly blouses.
Yes, and the padded shoulders.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes. Who was that woman?
They come back and they just look so ridiculous.
Oh crumbs! Who was that woman? I can't remember her name now. Who acted in that? An English woman, and she's right tart. She's about 300 years old now.
Joan Collins.
Joan Collins, yes. There's a dirty joke about Joan Collins. Would you like to hear it?
Well, you might as well.
Might as well. What's the difference between Joan Collins and the M1 motorway? There's a few men that haven't been up the M1 motorway.
Fair enough.
Because apparently she put it about a bit. So they say, allegedly.
So they say, allegedly.
She'd come over and hit me with her Zimmer frame if she.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I think she's still going somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Well, she's Yeah, because she was married to Anthony Newley, I think.
Yes. She's been married about 7 times, hasn't she?
I think she's lost count.
Yeah.
But something about Joan Collins. She went to, they went to that style council or something where they got them to walk in a certain way and speak in a very certain way.
Oh, like finishing school.
Finishing school, that's it. Yes. But what's this? If implants don't take, they can lead to bone graft surgery.
What's that to do with?
Oh, that's to do with the implants. I mean, I wouldn't have implants because I don't think they last. But and I'll tell you something else. Laser eye surgery. If it's that good, why doesn't Bill or William of the Gates variety? Why has he still got glasses?
Well, yeah.
He's the most richest man in the world. He could afford to buy the actual building of the, with the money he earns in about an hour, he could afford to.
Yeah.
So, there must be a reason why he still wears glasses.
Yeah.
Was it? I always like it as soon as I get a notification. In fact, I'm usually first to like the stream. Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yes.
Oh, bless you, Aunt Sally.
I've just seen a comment from... Oh, I've lost my comments now. Deborah, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Jay, anyone else looking into German new medicine? It's amazing research. No, but I shall do now.
Yes, Richard D. Hall did it about bloody hell, how many years ago? I'm guessing must be at least 5 years ago.
Right.
Maybe less, I don't know. And it is very, very, very interesting. I mean, there's also this thing about taking vitamin tablets.
Yes.
You've got to be careful because some vitamin tablets are artificial.
Yeah.
Vitamin C. The ones I get, I think, are okay.
Right.
But do you take vitamins, Deb?
I take vitamin D and D3.
Good idea.
They're the expensive ones. They're not the cheap ones.
I'm the same. I take expensive ones. And also, I take this, what's this stuff now? Vitamin E is very good because it thins your blood, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because a couple of times I used to get red eye with eye strain when I'm on the computer, But it says, now it's Shane Heimer says, it seems to me the only ones who empathise with victims are those who have been on the end of abuse or one kind of another. Well, it's a bit like that Stockholm syndrome we was talking about the other week.
Yeah, it is.
It's what I was saying is when people go with a bully, it is a form of Stockholm syndrome, I think.
Yeah.
It's a very, very weird thing. I noticed this at school as well. It's very interesting when you see this. But I mean, I've been in offices where some poor sod has been subject to like a kangaroo court. I haven't been involved with it. And I take sympathy for them. But, I mean, I was in one office once where a bloke almost burst into tears.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that because I can detach myself from the situation. But people do that. And as I've said, say anything. Just get yourself out of that situation as quickly as you can. See, best thing, don't worry about saving face,
Exactly.
But it says, we've already said that. Yes. I had a situation once where I wound a bloke up. I was walking through a precinct and had one of these chuggers come up to me. And he's French. He said, "Hello, sir. Do you like animals?" So I said, "Well, I like a bit of, I wouldn't mind a pork chop or something like that." No, pets. I said, "Oh, what? You have pets to eat as well?" And it's like, I did it delivery. I was winding the poor sod up. Oh, I love eating them. But Sean said a good one here. What's this? It says, "I'm tall with a deep voice. Some dogs are uneasy around me because their owners shout at them. It's not a trusted science, but they are more in tune with humans." Well, nobody's really worked out how a dog became domesticated because they say they've come from wolves.
Yeah.
But when you look at all the different breeds of dogs, is that really true?
No.
It's like pussycats. How they become domesticated? I mean, look, I've actually seen a bloody wild cat next to where is it now? Down in London, and they were bleeding wildcats. You know, they've really gone feral. But they've got actual wildcats still in Scotland, haven't they? The Highlands.
Yes, they have. And they're beautiful, proper wildcats. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're really cute.
Mind you can't get near them, can you? They're a bit aggressive.
Yeah, they're very. I need to plug in now. I'm starting to run out of battery.
Oh, bloody hell, you can't run out of battery, can you? No. Now we got to.
That's it. I mean.
Yes, but.
Olaf, can you imagine
a wild hamster? A bit like Monty Python with a rabbit and it kill a rabbit. You know, but when you think about it, I've often thought this: isn't it amazing? We've got birds run away, and they're placid. Seagulls, when they've laid their eggs, they attack humans, but birds generally do not attack humans. If they did, the whole of society would be different, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, it'd be like Hitchcock's The Birds, wouldn't it?
Well, that's right. I mean, there was a place where there was a pub where people couldn't go to because they had to go across a seagull breeding area. Yeah. They kept getting attacked by these seagulls, and the pub gave people a water pistol and crash helmet put on. These bloody seagulls, and they can be very, very aggressive. They really can, you know. But I found out something the other day. Did you know that pigeon poo, when it's dried, if you get it into a cut, it'll kill you?
Really?
Yes. And apparently, it's the worst poison you could ever wish to have. And a lot of people get killed from it because, especially building site workers, they'll cut their fingers, put their hand on something. Yeah. Pigeon poo gets it, and apparently they haven't got an antibiotic for it.
No.
I was really shocked at that.
Yeah. Yeah, there is some bird poo. It sends you blind and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, it can do some pretty. Well, guano, which was
guano,
they used that as fertilizer.
Bat poo.
Yeah, you know that's it. You know.
Bat poo. All them caves full of bat poo.
Bat poo, and my aunt and uncle used to have a house that didn't have a toilet in it. And they used a bucket.
Yeah.
And they emptied the bucket, and when they emptied the bucket, they put straw down and they grew tomatoes on it. And we were sitting there well, I don't remember it, but Mum told me. I must have been in her arms at the time. And she was eating the tomatoes. And she said, "Oh, these delicious tomatoes, where they come." And when my auntie explained it, she all spat it out.
It's not like arsehole, isn't it?
Yeah, but people often thought that if you grew something on polluted water, you could get that problem, but it doesn't. A plant apparently filters the water, so it's clean.
Yes. Yeah.
So you haven't got any problems. So they said, always like melons. If you have melons from out of wherever, don't have that. The water might be polluted. Doesn't matter because the melon has actually cleansed it for you.
Cleansed it, yeah.
Yes. Now it says here that this could happen if you go too far with dog sense. As a science, I smashed his head because the dog took a dislike to him as he attempted to deliver a parcel next door. Your Honour, whoops.
I think I might get a dog just to, like, pick out the wheat from the chaff.
Hadji said something. He said, "What's it, Chris? I think the likes of old Huxley Orwell were insiders, knowing full well what's on its way." Yes.
Oh, here's a good question. I haven't thought about this, Chris. I think the likes. No, hang on. What's going on there?
I just put that out.
Right, that's it. What's your view on someone that becomes obsessive with a topic or a person? Do you think it's a form of projection? I don't know, really.
It can be all kinds of things, really, because you look at the girls that were screaming at the Beatles. They were obsessive about that. But apparently, it started with Frank Sinatra because the mafia paid with girls to scream and faint in front of Frank Sinatra, and the other girls followed suit. It can be all manner of things to be obsessive. We're all slightly obsessive in some way.
Yeah, about different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, shoes. I mean, look at Imelda Marcos. We had hundreds of shoes.
But he's asking if it's a projection of what?
Perhaps it's a projection of what you want to be. Or
Maybe, yeah.
what you're looking for, anything like that, you know. But it's like this thing what I was saying the other week about this senses. If you project what you want in life, they say it will come because it's to do with the element. But it's incredibly difficult to project that.
You've got to have a lot of intent and focus. You've got to be 100% determined.
Well, that's right. I've tried this meditation and that. I find it very difficult. But I just go off the scale. I just go off because I've got a mind that's a butterfly mind.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a bit like I've been to these places where you're supposed to go under. This is another thing. Those of us that are awake, we can't be hypnotized. I bet you can't be hypnotized.
No, I don't know. I've never tried.
Well, no, not hypnotized. I went to one of these places. A woman says, now, you're in a lovely forest and the birds are singing, and are you drifting? I'm sitting. No. Everybody else is going, at least I'm sitting there thinking, no, nothing happened here.
I can do that because I can go into like really deep meditation. If I'm being guided by somebody, I can go into a really deep meditation and think that I'm there. So I probably could be hypnotized, to be honest. There's a good comment from here from Sailaway. Was working on sewage farms, electrical modernisation. Had an open cut one day. Next day I was blind in one eye. Next day blind in both. Lasted about 3 days.
Oh, Sailaway, that's horrendous.
And nerves between brain and eyes was the diagnosis.
My word, that is horrendous. That must have been terrifying.
Yeah, it must have been. Wouldn't have liked that.
Yes. Well, do you remember Fred Dibner? He dropped his cat in some pigeon poo or something like that. Put his cat on his head. He must have had a cut on his head or something, and it infected his head.
Oh,
infected. Bird poo is very, very dangerous. People don't realise how dangerous bird poo is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you another one, budgies.
Yeah.
I love budgies. I really am a budgie enthusiast, but I wouldn't have one. I had one as a kid, and they shit all because I think birds are incontinent, aren't they? They shit when they.
They don't just suddenly think it's 5 p.m. I need a crap.
Yes, I think I just go to have a crap. I can't play about our budgie. It used to be a big constant.
It's 5 p.m. Daddy Chris, will you take me to the toilet, please?
I used to say dance on the bottom of the car. This was sad. And he was madly in love with his mirror. Oh, bloody hell! He used to have a love affair with his mirror. He loved himself. He really did.
No, because he thought it was somebody else.
I think it's cruel to have one budgie. I think
it is. You've got to have a couple.
They don't talk, but
you've got to have a couple and no mirror because there'd be a bit of jealousy going on if there was a mirror there as well.
Well, I think that with budgies, I don't like putting things in cages, really.
No,
I feed the wild birds outside, and if I forget to feed them, they go next door, you know. I mean, they're not particular. I mean, birds around my way, they get so well fed on bleeding Weight Watchers, I think, and just take off. Especially the pigeons. Christ almighty.
No. I have a thing with wood pigeons. I put nuts out for the squirrels and we get the monkey nuts.
Yeah.
And the wood pigeons come along and just swallow them whole. They don't even break the nut open. I'm like, that is a waste. So I'm always chasing them off. This year I had a raven and she brought a baby with her. And she actually showed the baby how to open the nut. It was so cute. They were both sat on the fence and she's pecking the nut and looking at the baby, and then the baby pecks the nut and looks at his mum. And anyway, got there, learned how to do it. I was incredible.
Oh, that's lovely. I tell you what I had, and I wasn't imagining it because it happened for 2 years running. I feed the birds every morning, and I was just coming back and putting the tin of bird food in the shed, and I have to put a weight on top of it because the bleeding mice get in.
Yes, we've bought a tiny little lockable dustbin, dustbin with a lock lid to put the monkey nuts in because the mice were getting into them.
And they know it's in there. They've got a fantastic sense of smell because that thick plastic, bastards have nibbled right the way through that.
Yeah.
And but what happened? I looked around and a pigeon got this beautiful twig, came down the steps near me, dropped it on the floor, and then fluttered off.
Right.
And I thought it looked like as if he was giving me a gift. I thought, wonder if it's just thanks to the bird food. That happened last year. It's happened this year as well.
Oh, that's really.
And I'm wondering whether it's an actual. They've got the intelligence to think that, to know that I'm feeding them, and
I would say so.
Yes.
It just seems a bit of a coincidence that twice in a row in 2 years it's done that. It's almost like I haven't got much, but hey, that's a thank you for feeding me.
Well, it's a beautiful twig. One of the beautiful. They picked it out, and I think because pigeons are them and blue tits are the most intelligent birds there are,
and robins.
And robins, but they're aggressive little sods. They all look nice and sort of, but they really are aggressive to their own. But I've actually had a robin on my hand whistling. Have you ever had that?
No, I haven't actually. No.
Yeah, I put my hand out. Not in my garden. It's my sister's place. He landed on my hand and started to do a little song, and it really choked me up. I thought, that's lovely, you know. But apparently, Britain is the only place. I'm not sure about Ireland, where robins are tame enough to do that. They don't do that on the continent.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, but about this German new medicine, as I say, I put it up again. Anyone else looking at it? It's something I'd like to do. I actually asked Miles about that, I think, and we might sort of. I don't know if he knows. Must know something about it. It'd be nice to do a show on it because there's a couple of people that are real experts on it, and it's when you see though that the shit that people eat. I mean, it's unbelievable. As I say, people of Tesco's. But
it's not right.
Yes. Oh, hang on. John Baldwin said recently, Chris, he did it. Oh, okay. Sorry, J. Alfred Baldwin. I didn't realise that. Sorry. So it must have been last year or two. But I feel sorry for him because the establishment is after him. Did you know that? Panorama tried to do a hatchet job on him.
Right.
And his market stall has been closed down. And he's because he had not a store, it's like a little shop in the market at Merthyr Tydfil, and a woman came along and a hairy-ass cameraman, and she did the usual BBC hatchet job, which was absolutely evil what they did on him, and I feel sorry for him. I hope he's okay, but it was Daily Mail and the usual shit that's done.
No, right,
he's evil.
You can't expect much else from them.
Well, again, it's like the bullying, isn't it? It's trust.
Mm.
I mean, let's face it, Deb, you could do a hatchet job on anybody.
Yeah, of course.
You could make anything up, knock on their door and shove a microphone up their nose. And, you know, it's... And do you remember that time when, what was it now? There's an Australian bloke that used to run after people in the street.
Oh,
that was it. Yeah, I mean, come on, you know. Now, it says here, Olef. Hello, Olef. Saw a video which said all vitamins outside of food, sunlight, nature, etc. are artificial and don't function the same way as you get them in their natural condition. I would agree with you there, but the big trouble is plants now are grown on artificial fertilizer and they've got no nutrients in. So you're between a rock and a hard place, really, unless you grow it yourself. But the big problem with growing it yourself is very labour intensive. And of course, there's always the dead spot. I think it's around about January, February, where you don't get much food.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah. And I've done all right on my vitamin D and vitamin D3 tablets for the last 3 years. I haven't had anything dodgy.
Yes.
Let's say.
Well, I think vitamin D is the answer. And apparently it starts to run out now because you've topped up during the summer. Yeah. But now it says Mr. H, the German painter and decorator, the little German bloke, was on the ball with holistic, that's right, medicine, and lots of other things we can't talk about. Oh, what a wonderful world. That's true. He called it people's medicine, and it was based upon natural. Everything was natural. It's very cheap, and they had the first health service, would you believe?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know it was in the 30s. I'm not sure what actual year it started up. But what happened is, do you know this colour chart test?
Yeah.
I don't know whether they still do it now, but when you went to see a doctor in Germany, they give you a colour chart test before you went in.
Yeah.
To see the moods. And, you know, doctors used to look at your fingernails and your eyes. Don't do that now.
No.
You know, So
we've lost all that.
And Olef has said, can you imagine a wild hamster?
Yeah, that's what we said that earlier.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
Attacking you.
Well, oh bloody hell, yes. This is an interesting one. We better not read it out fully. Chris, what is your view on Mr. H? Escape to Argentina. I did read a book by Gerald Williams. I think it was Grey Wolf. I personally believe he died in the July 1944 plot and was replaced then.
There's a lot of speculation about that.
There's a lot of speculation. I'm 50-50 on that one because David Irving has written some incredible books on that, and he's actually interviewed the people that witnessed what happened. But you know that skull that they're supposed to have had, the Russians are supposed to have had.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a woman's skull, so it wasn't him. I know that the FBI did an investigation, and they said there's a lot of evidence that he did escape to Argentina. We will never know, basically, unless they dig a body up and do a DNA test. But with something that we can, there's all kind of conflicting stories. I mean, there was a pilot that, under oath, he said he flew Mr. H. I'm not sure about Eva Braun, but I know he flew him out of the last airport in Berlin.
Right.
There's another one where people witnessed him and Eva Braun getting on board a submarine in Norway, which at that time was still German occupied in 1945. There's a heck of a lot of speculation. I don't really know. I'm 50-50. I mean, you look at David Irving's work, and it's very convincing. But it's a bit like being a globe Earth skeptic. Both sides are very convincing. I have to admit, I'm leaning more towards flat now.
Right,
a little bit more flat. I'm sort of, I waver. I'm in the middle. The jury's out on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are pros and cons.
Well, that's it. And the cons are when you do the geometry for a sundial.
Yeah.
It works out perfectly for round. But, and I've actually been on an aeroplane and seen the curve.
Yeah.
But have you seen that thing about before 1958, all the atlases?
Oh, yeah.
Changed them.
All made out flat. Yeah, we were on about that last week with John, weren't we?
That's right. Perhaps it's IKEA. That's the problem.
Possibly.
Flat packs. That's it. Now, where are we now? We said about the sewage farm, didn't we? We got here. And I bet when that bloke worked on a sewage farm, was it Salaway? I bet there's loads and loads and loads of tomato plants around the outside.
Possibly, yeah.
Tomatoes and the seeds go through and they grow beautifully on sewage.
Yeah.
It says here. Sorry.
It's all right. I was just saying, I was making a point there. Can't have a full moon in the day on a globe.
You've got a good point. That is very, very good.
And Hatchie's saying it would be good if a programme on pH levels was done and the benefits to our bodies we run on pH 7. Our doctors won't tell us.
Well, that's right. That's right. There's a lot that doctors won't tell you about because it's like, as I say, I don't call them doctors. I call them certain reps who identify as doctors. Big difference. Yes. But now we've got one in capital letters here. What's this? This is Joe. Hello, Joe. Oi, you leave my podgy parrot out of this. Laugh out loud. Oh, you got a parrot. Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So what's his name? Podgy?
Podgy the parrot.
Podgy the parrot. Oh, I saw a very sad sight once. Remember that? Was it Pets R Us or?
Oh, yeah.
That is still going. And there's this parrot in a cage in there. Poor little sod. Look really peed off. Because they're highly intelligent. And they outlive their owners, some of them. You know, they live for a long time.
I used to go into a pet shop only occasionally just to look at the animals, and they had a parrot in there. And when you used to go up to the cage, it looked like it was asleep. And then it'd turn around and shuffle over the bars closest to you and go, "What?" No, oh, sorry. Didn't mean to disturb.
Really? Well, there was one in Portsmouth. What? There was a minor bird outside a cafe, I think it was, or inside a cafe in Portsmouth. And it's a naval base. The bloke had to take it in because the sailors were teaching it foul language. Piss off, piss off. And
yeah.
But was it? Oh, hang on, we got an interesting one here. What is it now? I wonder if it's possible to send a message to someone telepathically. Do we as humans have the ability? And if so, how can the average person achieve this?
It is possible.
Well, I know that it's to do with, again, energy. I mean, this is what I'm fiddling and farting around with at the moment, this idea of changing your life by changing energy and the frequency and that type of thing. And there's loads of these videos on YouTube. There's no end of them. People saying, you can be a millionaire by tomorrow morning and all this shit. It's a bit far-fetched. But I think that we can bring negative onto us and we can bring positive onto us. Positive and negative with everything,
Yeah.
But I think, well, it's an interesting what Oles said. He said, I'm always having telepathy with my son.
I think you do. If you're really close to somebody, you can achieve it. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I know that I think it's my auntie died. This was years ago. My sister was on holiday in France with her husband, and when my sister came back, my mum said to her, "Oh, well, I got some sad news," and she said, "Yes, Aunt," I can't remember her name was, Aunt What's it has died. And she said, "How do you know?" She said, "I just knew."
Yeah.
It's really weird. And I think that's, yes, you do. I think if you're very close, you can be very telepathic with people, And I think it's something to do with the third eye as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot, But, have you tried doing that with Bob? Putting your third eye up the Bob?
No.
No.
If you smelt his breath, you really wouldn't want to do that.
Well, have you smelled a dog's breath? When you're a little kid, what got me when I was a little nipper, you'd have your ice cream, the dog would walk past and get all the hairs on your ice cream.
Yeah, or have a lick.
Yeah, and its breath would always be.
No.
But well, I told you that my left leg had to go for counselling because it had been raped so many times by dogs.
Yeah,
yes.
Really not good.
No, it's not good there. South Coast Rich, this is a nice one. Decades ago, we had a pet budgerigar called Billy. We had a budgie called Billy Budge. He was always very careful and had no wish to leave his cage for a fly around. Just before he died, though, he got out for a long fly around. Oh, bless him. No. Did I tell you last week about my auntie's budgie? So I shouldn't laugh. It's very serious. It's that filling the sago pudding.
Oh.
No. What happened is this budgie was brilliant because remember the old cages that had like a spring on them.
Yeah.
Spring. Well, this budgie found out if you get on the top of the sort of the door. If you got on the top of the door, his weight of his body would just
push it down,
and he could fly out. You see, and my uncle was digging a garden outside, then the budgie flew out and flew on his shoulder. And he just spoke nicely to it and came back in. He went back in the cage. Well, this budgie was amazing because you'd be sitting there, he'd let himself out of the cage and fly around. He couldn't let himself back in, but he could let himself out. You see, and he hadn't worked out that you got to do it the other way around. But anyway, this wonder budgie. Unfortunately, he had a terrible death. He crash dived into the sago pudding. My auntie had some sago pudding. I think it was on the top, on the cooker.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether he had a heart attack, so he just went boom, straight in the sago pudding. It's terrible picking the feathers. I know, only joking.
What a way to go, though.
Yes, it's in the sago pudding.
Yeah, cute.
Yes, but it's what is it? About robins. Robins will fight each other to death. That's right, Mike.
Yeah,
they look like little innocent, pretty little dicky birds.
Oh yes.
Now it says here, robins are spirit. That's interesting because when you use a loved one, you find robins and white feathers outside your house.
That's right. You do.
Yes. And I often, when I'm in times of trouble, stress, or anything like that, I'll find a white feather outside my house. It's very strange that.
Yes, I get
that. Now, it says here, Mike Devlin is actually on that. So there's a conference, I think, in December that's John Hamer's going to attend. And if you go on to Pure Blood Awake on Facebook, you'll see all about it on there, okay? Yep. And Hadji says, I thought Mark Devlin did a lot for the music industry. A DJ, I believe, like the Beatles. Yes, Mark Devlin, what he doesn't know about the music industry isn't worth knowing. And he talks about how corrupt it is and how music has been used to control people's minds.
Yeah.
Yes, let's see. It's quite a sort of it's quite something. Now it says here what we got here. It says South Coast Rich. My pharmacist degree sister and late GP brother-in-law reckoned that for with a few exceptions, vitamin pills are a waste of money. Yeah, they sometimes say that. You know, but the thing is, you see, years ago, they grew vegetables and that on. They actually grew it on shit, piggy shit, you know, and oh dear. Anyway, do you think shall we wind it up now?
Yes, because I've got something strange going on with my eye. It's a bit like when you get a migraine and it's doing all that wiggly, but it's all zigzags and colours and very strange.
Well,
I'm trying to. Oh, that's a bit bad.
Got a dangly bit on your hair. You see. No. Do you know? Now the question is, should I wear a wig next week? Do you know?
I think you should.
Yeah. I think a wig would look. Yeah, I could go to the pound shop and buy a mop and shove that on.
You could actually. Yeah, that'd look good.
Yeah, I'll try it. Or should I try the for our overseas viewers, a knotted handkerchief for the?
That'd be good. It's got to be a Union Jack one though.
Yeah, we've got some funny dink links keep going. Have you heard those noises?
Yeah, that's not me. I checked mine. I checked it wasn't mine, and it's not mine.
Something bloody strange is going on. But anyway, I don't know whether Miles will be on Thursday or not, or Wednesday or not. I'll have to let you know about that if I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
but we'll work it out anyway. But all being well, we will be definitely. All being well, he'll be on this week. And on Monday, please join us for a special with John Hamer about a ship that we're keeping quiet about its name, but it changed the course of history.
Yes, it did.
That's worth watching at 8 o'clock, same time. And remember, please ding the old bell and also subscribe. That's most important. Please subscribe. And remember, there's a link below to Deb's website. You've got your you've got your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay, so please see Deb's YouTube channel. It's brilliant. I've seen it. It's very good. Absolutely excellent. And also look at Pure Blood Awake on Facebook before the bastards at Facebook take it off.
Yeah.
And please tell your friends. And above all, whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh.
Yes.
And good night. I think it's roll the credits. Are you there, Deb?
I've got my finger on the pulse.
And good night. We'll see you next week. All being well.
Good night, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Bye.